Betrayal by family cuts deeper than any other wound. It's a violation of trust, a shattering of the foundation that was supposed to support you. When the very people who should protect you turn against you, the world itself can seem hostile, and bitterness threatens to consume everything. But there is a way forward, and it begins with understanding something fundamental. Betrayal is not the end of your story. Betrayal is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. One where you define yourself, not by what was done to you, but by how you choose to respond. When you are betrayed, especially by family, it's easy to descend into resentment. You may feel the weight of injustice, asking, "Why me?" But that question leads nowhere. Instead, ask, "What now?" Because life does not stop for your suffering, and neither should you. There is no virtue in allowing betrayal to define your future. The past may have shaped you, but it does not own you. You must first accept the brutal reality that not everyone who shares your blood is your ally. There are people, yes, even within your family, who will act against your best interests, whether out of jealousy, selfishness, or simply their own brokenness. Some people refuse to carry their own burdens, so they shift them onto others. And if you have been betrayed, it means you have something valuable, something they could not stand to see flourish. The strength you possess, the potential within you, is a threat to those who live in fear. There is power in refusing to be broken by it. You do not let them win by collapsing under the weight of their betrayal. You win by standing up, by taking full responsibility for your life, and by refusing to become like them. Resentment is the road to self-destruction, and if you walk it, you will become what you despise. But if you choose discipline over despair, growth over grievance, you emerge not as a victim, but as someone who has conquered the hardest of trials. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It does not mean allowing those who have betrayed you to continue their harm. It does not mean naivety. It means freeing yourself from the chains of their actions. You do not forgive for their sake. You forgive so that you can move forward unburdened by hatred. That does not mean reconciliation. Some people should never have access to your life again. You do not owe them a place at your table just because they share your name. Just because you share the same table with them. Instead of focusing on what you have lost, turn your attention to what you can build. Become stronger, become wiser. Build friendships that are deeper than blood, based on loyalty, respect, and shared values. A true family is not always the one you were born into, it is the one you create. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, who tell you the truth, who want to see you succeed rather than rejoice in your failures. You were betrayed, yes, but that betrayal is a test. It is a moment of reckoning. Will you allow it to break you, or will you use it as fuel to rise? Do not let them dictate your story. Take responsibility for your future. Stand up straight, despite the weight on your shoulders, and move forward with strength. Because in the end, the best revenge is not hatred, it is transformation. Betrayal is not the end. It feels like everything has collapsed. The trust, the connection, the belief that family would always stand by your side. In that moment, it seems like the world has narrowed to a single unbearable truth. You have been cast aside by the very people who should have protected you. But that feeling, as overwhelming as it is, does not define what comes next. What defines your future is what you do with it. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. The past cannot be changed, but the path forward is yours to shape. The worst mistake you can make is to believe that this moment is the final chapter. It is not. Some people allow betrayal to consume them, to bury them in resentment until they become hollow versions of themselves, filled with anger and self-pity. But that is a surrender, not a solution. The betrayal may have been someone else's action, but what comes after is entirely up to you. You must decide whether this experience will be the weight that drags you down or the fire that forges you into something stronger. Every great person who has ever risen above adversity has faced betrayal in some form, by friends, by colleagues, by those closest to them. What separated them from the rest was not their circumstances, but their response. To believe that betrayal is the end is to give power to those who hurt you. It allows them to shape your story, to dictate your emotions, to control your destiny, but they do not deserve that power. The moment you shift your focus from what was done to you to what you will do next, you reclaim control. Betrayal may shake you, but it does not have the right to break you. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how unfair it seems, you must decide that this will not be the defining tragedy of your life. It can, instead, be the beginning of something far greater than you ever imagined. Resentment is destructive. It disguises itself as justice, as if holding on to anger will somehow balance the scales, as if replaying the betrayal in your mind will rewrite what happened. But resentment does not bring justice. It poisons you from within, turning pain into bitterness and bitterness into a prison. The more you dwell on what they did, the more control they have over you. You relive the betrayal every day, carrying the weight of it long after they have moved on. It does not heal you. It does not undo the past. It only ensures that your suffering continues. There is something deeply seductive about resentment. It whispers that you are right to be angry, that you are justified in hating them, that if you hold on tightly enough, the pain will mean something. But resentment does not give you meaning. It drains you. It keeps you bound to the very people who hurt you, allowing their betrayal to define your emotions, your actions, your very identity. The worst part? They do not feel its weight. You do. While you sit in anger, they live their lives. While you replay the past, they create their future. If you let resentment take root, it will not stop at those who betrayed you. It will spread. You will begin to see the world through a filter of bitterness, distrusting even those who wish you well. You will push away people who care, fearing they will hurt you too. You will close yourself off, thinking you are protecting yourself, but in reality, you are only building a prison with walls too high for anyone to reach you. Resentment does not make you stronger. It isolates you, weakens you, and keeps you tied to the past. The only way forward is to refuse to carry what does not serve you. That does not mean forgetting what happened. It does not mean excusing their actions. It means choosing not to let their betrayal dictate your life. It means breaking free from the cycle of bitterness before it consumes you, because the moment you release resentment, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of their actions and start being the architect of your own future. You cannot control what they did, but you can control what you do with it. And that decision will determine everything. Not all family members are allies. This is a difficult truth to accept because we are conditioned to believe that family is synonymous with loyalty, protection, and unconditional love. But the reality is that family is made up of individuals, flawed, complicated, and sometimes deeply broken. Just because someone is connected to you by blood does not mean they have your best interests at heart. Some will betray you, not because of anything you did, but because of who they are. Some will see your growth as a threat, your success as a reminder of their own failures, your strength as something they must tear down rather than support. There are those in your family who will pretend to love you while secretly resenting you. They will smile in your presence and speak against you when you are not around. They will compete with you, undermine you, or even actively work against you. This betrayal feels worse than any other because it comes from those you were taught to trust, those who should have been your greatest supporters. It forces you to question everything. Was the love ever real? Were the memories built on lies? Did they ever truly care? It is painful to realize that some family members will never celebrate your wins, will never uplift you, and will never be the safe place you wish they were. But this realization, as heartbreaking as it is, can also be liberating. It frees you from seeking validation where you will never find it. It forces you to stop chasing approval from those who refuse to give it. You do not need their acceptance to live a full and meaningful life. You do not need their permission to become who you are meant to be. The mistake many people make is assuming that because they are family, they must endure toxicity, manipulation, and betrayal indefinitely. But staying in a harmful environment simply because of shared blood is not loyalty. It is self-betrayal. Family should be a source of strength, not a battlefield of deceit and competition. If someone constantly tears you down, disregards your feelings, or refuses to respect your boundaries, then their title as family does not excuse their actions. You have the right to distance yourself. You have the right to protect your peace. And the most powerful shift you can make is understanding that true family is not determined by genetics, but by connection, trust, and respect. Some of the most supportive, loving people you will ever meet will not share your last name. They will not be bound to you by birth, but by choice. And those are the relationships worth investing in. Family is not about who shares your blood. It is about who shares your values, who stands with you in times of hardship, and who wants to see you grow rather than watch you fall. Let go of the illusion that all family members will stand by you and start building connections with those who truly do, because in the end, family is not who you are born with, it is who you choose. Betrayal reveals your strength. It may not feel that way in the moment. At first, it feels like a wound that will never heal, a deep sense of loss that strips away your trust in others and, at times, even in yourself. When the people who were supposed to stand by you choose to betray you instead, it is easy to question your own worth, to wonder if you were not good enough, if you did something wrong, if you should have seen it coming. But betrayal is not a reflection of your failure. It is a revelation of their character. And more than that, it is an opportunity to uncover a resilience within you that you may not have realized was there. It is in the hardest moments that you learn what you are truly capable of. When everything around you falls apart, you have two choices: to stay broken or to rebuild. It is in this rebuilding that your strength is forged. You find out that you can stand on your own, that you can navigate through pain, that you can survive without the approval or validation of those who abandon you. Strength is not found in avoiding hardship. It is found in enduring it, facing it, and coming out on the other side with a deeper understanding of yourself. Betrayal forces you to grow. It teaches you who is truly in your corner and who is only there for convenience. It sharpens your ability to see through deception, to recognize manipulation, to distinguish between those who uplift you and those who only tolerate you when it benefits them. This is painful knowledge, but it is powerful knowledge. It prevents you from repeating the same mistakes, from placing your trust in the wrong hands, from wasting time on people who do not deserve your energy. There is a reason why the strongest, most successful people have faced betrayal in their lives. It is because strength is not given, it is earned. It is not inherited. It is built through trials, through disappointments, through experiences that force you to either break or rise. Every great leader, every person who has achieved something remarkable has walked through betrayal at some point, and yet they did not allow it to define them. They allowed it to shape them. You may not see it now, but this betrayal is giving you something invaluable. It is teaching you self-reliance. It is stripping away illusions. It is preparing you for a future where you no longer depend on the wrong people, where you no longer accept less than you deserve, where you recognize your own strength instead of waiting for others to validate it. The betrayal itself is not the defining moment. The way you rise from it is. And when you do, you will see that you were never weak to begin with. You were simply waiting for the moment when your true strength would be revealed. You win by refusing to be broken. The natural response to betrayal, especially from family, is to feel as though you have lost something precious, something irreplaceable. You feel wounded, fragile, and exposed, and it's easy to believe that the only way forward is through bitterness or despair, but those feelings are temporary, fleeting reactions to a much deeper process. They are not permanent truths. The true victory lies not in how deeply the betrayal cuts, but in your decision to rise despite the pain, to refuse to be shattered by it. The greatest strength comes not from avoiding pain or pretending it doesn't hurt, but from choosing to stand up and keep moving forward, even when every part of you wants to collapse under the weight of it all. You see, when you choose not to be broken, you take back the control that was stolen from you in that moment of betrayal. You stop giving power to those who have hurt you by allowing their actions to determine your emotional state, your future, and your peace of mind. Every time you choose to rise, every time you choose to walk away from bitterness, you send a message not just to the people who betrayed you, but to yourself, that you are not defined by their actions. You are not defined by their betrayal. You are not defined by their inability to appreciate you. Refusing to be broken is an act of defiance, but it is not the defiance of someone who seeks revenge or retaliation. It is the defiance of someone who understands their worth and knows that no matter how painful the betrayal, it cannot take away their future, their dreams, or their potential. It is a refusal to let the actions of others dictate your path. By standing tall, by continuing to move forward, you show the world, and most importantly yourself, that you are more than what was done to you, Choosing to rise is about reclaiming your dignity and rebuilding your life, not in the shadow of those who betrayed you, but in the light of your own strength. Every decision to move forward, even when you feel like giving up, is an act of building something stronger, something more resilient, something far more powerful than what you had before. The person who stands tall after betrayal is the one who has found the courage to believe that the best is yet to come. And that belief, that refusal to be broken, is what truly leads to victory. This is how you win, not through the battle with those who betrayed you, but by winning the battle within yourself, by refusing to let them own your peace, by choosing to rise with dignity and strength, by choosing to heal and rebuild. This is the real victory, the one that cannot be taken from you, the one that sets you on a path far beyond the reach of their hurtful actions. In the end, the person who refuses to be broken becomes unshakable, untouchable, and unstoppable. And that is a power that no betrayal can ever diminish. You will find your true strength only when you stop looking for someone to blame. The instinct is natural, especially after betrayal. It's easy to point fingers, to look for someone or something to hold accountable, to search for reasons why you were hurt. And it makes sense. Betrayal is an assault on your trust, your sense of security, and your perception of the world. It shakes your belief in people and your faith in the systems that were supposed to protect you. But if you remain focused on blaming others, you remain a victim to the very thing that has already hurt you. Blaming others is a way of giving them control over your emotional state. It keeps you stuck in the past, tied to the people or circumstances that caused you harm. It's an easy trap to fall into because it offers a sense of justice, an illusion of fairness. But the truth is, as long as you focus on blame, you are relinquishing your power to heal and move on. The more you blame, the more you give away. Every second spent blaming others is a second lost in the process of reclaiming your own life. The power comes when you realize that the most important question is not why did they do this, but how will I respond? In the aftermath of betrayal, the focus must shift from seeking answers from others to seeking answers within yourself. What are you going to do now? Will you allow the betrayal to define you, or will you define yourself? Will you continue to be a prisoner of what happened, or will you take responsibility for your own healing? It's only when you stop blaming that you can start growing. It's only when you take ownership of your journey, your pain, your healing, your response, that you truly begin to transform. This is not about excusing the actions of those who betrayed you. It's about releasing the hold that the betrayal has over you. By shifting the focus away from blame, you take back the narrative of your own life. You stop giving others the ability to decide your emotional state. You stop allowing them to dictate how you feel, how you behave, and how you move forward. Instead, you take the reins. You take responsibility for your healing. Blaming others also keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity. It breeds anger, resentment, and frustration, none of which lead to healing. It keeps you bound to the pain, to the people who hurt you, rather than setting you free. If you keep focusing on the betrayal, you prolong the suffering. But when you choose to stop blaming and start living, you begin to create space for something new. You make room for forgiveness, for peace, for growth, for healing. You are not saying that what they did was right. You are not saying that the betrayal didn't hurt. What you are doing is choosing not to allow that hurt to be the story of your life. You are refusing to let their actions define you. You are taking back control, taking back power, and making the decision to no longer let them have a say in your happiness. This is the ultimate victory, because when you stop blaming others, you are the one who decides how the rest of your story will unfold. Betrayal offers you an opportunity to reassess your life and your priorities. It strips away the illusions and the facades, leaving you with a raw, unfiltered view of your reality. When you are betrayed, especially by family, it forces you to confront the truth about who you really are, who they truly are, and what you have been tolerating. You are no longer able to look away from the things that you might have been ignoring, the relationships you have been settling for, or the behaviors you have been tolerating from others. Betrayal doesn't just show you who others really are. This is not about the betrayal itself. It's about what you do with that pain and that awareness. It's about the decision you make moving forward. Betrayal presents a choice. You can either stay stuck in the past, replaying what happened over and over again, or you can use it as a catalyst for change. It's in the aftermath of betrayal that you are given a unique opportunity to look at your life with a clearer vision. You can take inventory of your relationships, of the people who matter, and of the things you truly value. In many ways, betrayal has a way of refocusing your priorities. When you are hurt by someone close to you, you begin to see what truly matters. You understand that time is precious, and you can't afford to spend it on people who don't value you or on relationships that drain you. The pain of betrayal forces you to take stock of your own life, and it makes you more aware of where your energy is going. You are no longer willing to give your time and your emotional investment to people who don't appreciate it. You start to understand that your energy is valuable, and you begin to guard it with intention. This is the time when you get to ask yourself the hard questions. What am I really doing with my life? What do I truly want, and who do I want around me? Betrayal exposes all of the things that we often overlook in the hustle of life. The relationships that are toxic, the patterns that have been keeping us stuck, and the behaviors that need to change. But it also reveals to us what we are capable of when we face these truths head on. It shows you that you can endure pain, that you can learn from it, and that you can come out the other side more focused, more determined, and more clear about what you want from life and from the people in it. It is in these moments that you realize that betrayal is not the end of your journey, it is simply a redirection. It clears the path for you to walk with a deeper sense of purpose. When someone betrays you, it's a wake-up call to stop being complacent, to stop tolerating what isn't serving you, and to start living with intention. You realize that you deserve more, that you are worthy of respect, of honesty, and of loyalty. Betrayal has a way of forcing us to reevaluate our boundaries and our sense of self-worth. It compels us to be more discerning about who we allow into our lives, who we trust, and how we protect our peace. Instead of making us weaker, it makes us stronger. It teaches us how to stand up for ourselves, how to create the space for our own growth, and how to let go of people and situations that no longer align with our best interests. It pushes us to get clear about what we want out of life and to stop settling for anything less than what we deserve. Ultimately, betrayal teaches us the importance of self-respect. It forces us to reassess not only how we view others, but also how we view ourselves. It tells us that we are worthy of the same level of loyalty, respect, and love that we give to others. It reminds us that our happiness is not dependent on anyone else but ourselves. It is a painful but powerful lesson in understanding our own value and not letting anyone else define it for us. Betrayal offers you a chance to develop a deeper understanding of forgiveness, not as a sign of weakness, but as a testament to your strength. Forgiveness is often seen as something that is owed to the person who wronged you, but in reality, forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It is not about excusing the actions of those who hurt you. It's about releasing the grip that their actions have on your life. It is about setting yourself free from the chains of anger, resentment, and bitterness that can prevent you from moving forward. When you forgive, you are not saying what they did was okay. You are not condoning their behavior, but you are choosing to no longer allow their actions to dictate your emotional state, to no longer give them the power to control your thoughts or your peace. Forgiveness is about taking back the control that was stolen from you. It's about regaining your sense of peace, your sense of self, and your ability to move forward without being weighed down by the past. Forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It's something that must be actively practiced over and over again. The act of forgiving does not instantly make the pain go away, but it begins the healing process. Every time you forgive, you release more of the bitterness, more of the hurt, more of the anger. It's like unclenching your fists, one finger at a time. With each act of forgiveness, you free yourself from the emotional burden that betrayal imposes. You give yourself the chance to heal, to grow, and to move forward in a way that is not defined by the wounds of the past. It's important to understand that forgiveness is not about reconciliation. You don't have to remain in a relationship with someone who has hurt you. You don't have to put yourself in a position to be hurt again. Forgiveness does not mean you tolerate or accept disrespect. It means that you stop allowing the hurt to control you, that you stop letting the betrayal define your future, and that you choose to rise above the situation. And forgiveness is a gift to yourself, a declaration that you will not be defined by what was done to you. Through forgiveness, you begin to reclaim your power. You regain the strength to move forward, to rebuild, and to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. You understand that your worth is not dependent on the actions of others. You are not a victim of what happened to you. You are a survivor, a fighter, and a person capable of growing from even the most painful experiences. Forgiveness is the tool that allows you to transform the pain of betrayal into an opportunity for growth, for deeper understanding, and for a life filled with greater wisdom and resilience. Choosing forgiveness means letting go of the need for justice or revenge. It means surrendering the idea that someone else can make things right. It's an act of releasing the past and accepting that there is nothing more to be gained from holding on to the pain. The only way to fully heal is to forgive, to let go of the emotional weight and free yourself from the hold it has on your life. Forgiveness is the path to true emotional freedom. It's a process that doesn't just heal the wounds of betrayal, but strengthens you for the journey ahead. When you are betrayed, especially by those you trust most, it often leads you to question everything. You may begin to question the relationships in your life, your sense of security, and even your ability to trust yourself. But the reality is, betrayal is an opportunity for profound growth if you are willing to face it head on. You are forced to examine your own beliefs, values, and expectations in a way that can lead to deeper awareness. The pain of betrayal pushes you to consider what you truly value, not just in others, but within yourself. It challenges you to redefine your boundaries, to understand what you will tolerate and what you will no longer accept. This is a moment of clarity, though it comes through suffering. It's a wake-up call that helps you realize that you are not just a victim of circumstances. You are an active participant in the way your life unfolds. Your choices, your mindset, and your actions shape the direction you are headed. Betrayal forces you to reconsider your previous assumptions about people, about love, about loyalty, and even about yourself. It forces you to challenge your comfort zones and to reevaluate what you are willing to settle for. In the process, you learn that your worth is not tied to the actions of others. Your self-esteem is not dependent on how others treat you, but on how you view yourself. The beauty of this painful experience is that it can sharpen your understanding of what truly matters in life. It teaches you that while others may hurt you, it is not their betrayal that defines you, it is how you respond. Will you allow the hurt to break you, or will you choose to rise above it? Will you let this experience shape you into someone bitter and distrustful, or will you use it to reinforce your understanding of who you are and what you stand for? Betrayal can lead you to see the cracks in your relationships, the places where your trust has been misplaced or your expectations were unrealistic. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it can be a valuable opportunity to rebuild your life with more wisdom and discernment. It can help you understand who is truly deserving of your time, energy, and love. It teaches you to be more intentional with your trust, to carefully choose who you allow into your inner circle, and to demand more from the relationships that matter. Betrayal doesn't just force you to look at the person who hurt you, it forces you to look at the entire landscape of your life and assess what changes need to be made. Moreover, betrayal helps you strengthen your emotional resilience. When faced with betrayal, your response, whether you crumble under the weight of it or choose to confront it with strength, will define your capacity to navigate future challenges. You become more adept at handling adversity, more skilled at protecting your emotional boundaries, and more clear about your values and principles. Betrayal doesn't just test your relationships, it tests your own ability to remain true to yourself, to stay grounded, and to continue moving forward despite the pain. This experience challenges you to deepen your emotional intelligence and develop a better understanding of how to protect your heart while still allowing it to love freely. You learn to recognize the difference between healthy vulnerability and unhealthy dependence. You realize that love and trust are not commodities to be freely given without discernment. They are valuable and deserve careful consideration. The betrayal may feel like a devastating loss, but if you use the experience to learn about yourself, you emerge from it with a greater sense of clarity, strength, and direction. In the end, betrayal doesn't just hurt, it transforms. It forces you to grow, to redefine your sense of self, and to reclaim your power. Instead of allowing the betrayal to be the end of your journey, you use it as the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you know who you are, what you stand for, and where you are headed. A chapter where you have learned from the past, but are not chained to it. A chapter where you are stronger, wiser, and more equipped to live the life you deserve. Betrayal reveals a powerful truth. You are your own source of strength. While it may feel as though your world is shattered by the actions of those closest to you, the ultimate lesson in betrayal is the realization that you have everything within you to rise above it. It is easy to become consumed by anger, sadness, or despair when someone you trusted turns on you, but these emotions are fleeting. What truly remains, the true core of who you are, is your resilience, your ability to rebuild, and your capacity for self-reliance. When you face betrayal, you are forced to confront the reality that no one else is responsible for your happiness or your sense of peace. It doesn't matter how much you may have loved or trusted someone. At the end of the day, the responsibility for your own emotional well-being rests with you. You cannot rely on others to protect your heart, to provide you with validation, or to guide you through difficult times. Betrayal teaches you that your emotional foundation must be built on your own strength, your own values, and your own ability to maintain your integrity, regardless of the actions of others. In the wake of betrayal, you are given an opportunity to reclaim your power. No longer can you place your sense of security in the hands of people who have proven untrustworthy. Instead, you look inward and discover that you are capable of standing tall on your own. You are capable of finding healing, of finding peace, and of moving forward even when it feels like the world around you has fallen apart. The betrayal exposes your own inner resilience, reminding you that no matter what you face, you have the tools within you to survive and thrive. Through this painful experience, you gain a deeper sense of self-worth. You realize that your value is not dependent on the approval or actions of others. No one else has the power to define your worth. You may have been hurt by someone, but that hurt doesn't diminish who you are. Betrayal allows you to reconnect with your true essence and reminds you that you are strong, capable, and worthy of respect and love. Moreover, betrayal challenges you to become more self-reliant in every area of your life. You can no longer place all of your trust in others, but instead must learn how to trust yourself. Trusting yourself means being able to make decisions with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. It means relying on your own judgment and wisdom, and understanding that you are the captain of your own ship. When others fail you, you have the strength to steer your own course, to find your way through the storm, and to reach the shore on your own terms. This self-reliance extends to your emotional health as well. Betrayal teaches you that while it's okay to seek support from others, your emotional well-being cannot be dependent on anyone else. You are responsible for nurturing yourself, for tending to your own heart, and for ensuring that you remain grounded no matter what happens in your relationships. The strength you cultivate in these moments of hardship becomes the foundation for everything else in your life. As you move forward from betrayal, you will find that the more you depend on yourself, the more powerful and capable you feel. You begin to realize that you don't need anyone's approval to move forward, that you are fully capable of creating the life you want. The betrayal may have shaken you, but it has also shown you the depth of your inner strength, your ability to adapt, and your unwavering commitment to your own well-being. Through this process, you learn that betrayal is not the end, but rather an invitation to connect more deeply with your own power. It's an opportunity to rediscover the strength that lies within you and to build a life that is not contingent upon the actions of others. When others betray you, it may feel as though they have taken something from you, but in reality, they have given you the gift of self-discovery. They have shown you how capable you are, how strong and how resilient you can be when you no longer rely on others to define your worth or dictate your happiness. You are your own source of strength, and that is a power that no one can ever take away from you. In the end, betrayal is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. It challenges you, forces you to grow, and offers you an opportunity to rebuild your life with greater wisdom, resilience, and self-reliance. Though the pain may feel unbearable in the moment, it is through this hardship that you discover the depths of your own strength and capacity to heal. You learn that your value is not tied to the actions of others, but to the integrity of your own character. Betrayal teaches you that the power to heal, to forgive, and to rise above lies within you. It forces you to confront the reality that while others may fail you, you are not defined by their actions. You are defined by how you respond, and by choosing to rise, to rebuild, and to move forward with strength and purpose, you become the person who was never truly broken, only transformed. As you navigate through this storm, remember that your greatest source of power lies within. No matter how deep the betrayal, you have everything you need to rebuild your life, to regain your peace, and to create a future that is not bound by the pain of the past. This is not just about surviving betrayal, it is about using it as a stepping stone to become the best, most authentic version